Well, happy Monday, folks. A little bit of a taste of what the NFL season has in store with free agency off and running. All these contracts coming in, 5 an hour. 5 every 10 minutes, 50 an hour. As we've seen the last couple hours from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter and company and all the different NFL insiders from throughout the league. There's a lot of things to get into, a lot of big signings to dive into. Should be a lot of fun. It is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin, Russo, Mike Rizzo. We got Christian Cat. Streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida and at Twitter and Facebook at ESPN West Palm. Got you for the next 2 hours today up until 6 p.m. 888-760-3776. We'll start with the local one of the bunch. Is the Miami Dolphins have made decisions on how the Tua Tagovailoa situation is going to play out, and it came out, I guess, how we anticipated it would. And that is they dropped Tua Tagovailoa. They're going to eat that $99 million cap hit. And ever since then, it's been announced that the Atlanta Falcons are being pursued by Atlanta, and that is the leader in the clubhouse. I do not believe an official contract has been there, but he has offset so he can sign for a vet minimum. And the Miami Dolphins quickly scoop up free agency acquisition, Mr. Malik Willis from the Green Bay Packers. 3 years, $67.5 million with $45 million fully guaranteed. So a sliver over about $22, $23 million a year, a lot less than what was advertised throughout going into free agency in terms of what he was demanding. People were looking at a little, maybe near 30. Dolphins get about $7 million less than that. Now, I don't know if we were programmed to think that $30 million was the status quo. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was a ambitious ask from Malik Willis's camp. But he's officially signed to the Miami Dolphins. He looks to be that is starting quarterback money. It looks to be their quarterback for the near future. Mike Rizzo, your initial interpretation.
Expected with Packer brass taking over Miami. I actually really like both moves. I thought Malik at $30 million was a year. I thought that was ridiculous. I kind of like how they met in the middle. And I give them a lot of credit for cutting Tua. $99 million against the cap, $67 this year, $31 the year after. I give them a lot of credit for ripping the Band-Aid off. I've mentioned a couple of times on the program, I'm a Cleveland Brown fan. I wish the Browns would do the same with Deshaun Watson. But I applaud them. This is a move they didn't make. This was a move of, back in 2024, Tua and the Dolphins agreeing to a contract which had him getting $167 million guaranteed dollars. They had nothing to do with this, and they wanted to wipe their hands clean. I give them credit for it. Now you could officially start the rebuild of the Miami Dolphins. Now, Colin, you've alluded to me numerous times. That's a lot of money. And listen, it's 67 against the cap this year is a lot of money. 31 against the cap the year after is a lot of money. I just think that it was a necessary move in order to move forward for the Dolphins as a franchise. Yeah,
the bottom line is there's no people want to throw out team-friendly contract. It's not a team-friendly contract because Tua is a part of this. Tua is a part of their cap situation. He will be for the next 2 years. So until then, you can't necessarily, wager one up or any sort of signing up as a team-friendly deal because it's not, because they owe a tremendous amount of money to that position over the next 2 years. That we do know. Now, the $45 million guaranteed. The good news about it is this is a lot less thick and long-term comparatively to what they gave Tua. And at the very least, in a season where there wasn't a lot to go with, there wasn't a lot to sort of ride on in terms of the draft, they figured it out quickly. It was one of the first signings that did come out today, one of the first big ones. And they made quick note, get him signed, get him set. I'm sure they've known this for quite some time. And it sounds like it's the match that they were looking for when they first came in. I would be blown away if this was not a part of Jeff Hafley's pitch when he was first interviewed to become the head coach. And I'm sure that John Eric Sullivan, the new general manager of the Miami Dolphins, was thinking a lot of the same. Now, I talked to a lot of Packer fans this weekend when I was at ESPN Madison on Thursday, and all of them said that he is not worth a long-term quarterback contract. Every single one of them. And that is people who watch every snap of Packer games, and they have seen every game that he played. Now, I remember the games he's played as well. I've seen the three wins he had. The 4 touchdowns, 2 on the ground. But they were all under the impression that in the realm of 30 long-term contract, they're just not under the impression that he's any good. Now, we'll see. And the good news is this is a contract that it's not an anchor to your feet in deep water if he ends up not working out. Now, I don't know if the Dolphins are thinking, are we trying to contend next year? My thought process is that they are. And they're trying to think of the new brand NFL where they're going to draft a quarterback. It's not going to be within the top 10 picks, and it's going to be signing somebody that's a aging veteran that they can sort of revamp. It would be along the lines of that comparatively to tanking, being terrible, and drafting top 5. So this is not going to be a year when the Dolphins are aiming at a 4-13. This is going to be a season where they're going to aim for a wild card spot.
Yeah, interesting to hear the ESPN Madison brass kind of be out on Willis. I mean, I guess it's
Out
because
is a
he's
word.
a system guy.
Long-term, $25, $30+ million a year. That was their impression.
Yeah, system guy. I'll listen to that. But compared to what's on the market and what's on the Dolphins roster, and I really like what they did with the contract. As we've been saying, it's not $30 million. I thought it was a no-brainer for them. And I'm giving flowers to the Packer brass that's in there, and obviously Jeff Hafley, the head coach. Now, you mentioned that the Dolphins, they'd like to compete. They got rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick today. They traded him to the Jets, which immediately turned into him getting a $38 million deal with the Jets.
Right.
I wonder what the big picture is going to look like when it's all said and done. We have a long way to go in the draft and free agency. But I really do think that this is a team that could compete for 8 or 9 wins. I don't know if it's going to be playoffs, Colin. My best guess on March the 9th, not knowing what the roster looks like, and Malik at quarterback, kind of his first year being a starter, I'm assuming 8, 9 wins. But I do trust this brass. I think the 2 moves that the brass has made since they got brought in of getting rid of Tyreek Hill, remember, no more Tyreek Hill in that distraction, and getting rid of Tua was an expensive distraction, but I think they made the right move. So I like the 2 moves that are made. I feel like they got rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick. Maybe you want a veteran in the locker room, but the new brass didn't want him. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what this looks like. But I really do think out of the 3 big moves ever made of cutting Tua, getting rid of Fitzpatrick, and getting rid of Tyreek Hill, I'm really a big fan of 2 out of the 3. And I think Dolphin fans should be as well.
888-760-3776. Malik Willis, you like the number. You like the amount of years attached to it. You like the direction that John Eric Sullivan, the general manager, and Jeff Hafley are now taking the Miami Dolphins with 3 Green Bay Packer affiliates taking a big control of what they will be, and that is in terms of especially offensively. So it turns out, as it's being reported, that the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, had real interest, but the price was too rich. They were not interested in giving out that $20+ million a year contract. They just didn't think there was enough there. And the Miami Dolphins, and I agree, ultimately, like what else were you going to do? You can't bring in 2 Packer guys and expect to go 3-16 or 3-14. Excuse me. You can't expect that because don't hire Packer people if you want to do that. Packers don't do that. Dolphins are not going to do that either. They're going to try to contend every single year, and there is no brand new general manager and/or head coach that is interested in hurting their resume and going 4-13 the first year just for the sake of it. Guys get injured and it's week 8 of the year and the whole team is, on the injury report and there's not a lot you could do. That's a different story. But going into the season, they are going to be under the impression that they are going to try to compete for a wild card spot. That is my interpretation. That is what this contract tells you. Because you don't give, a placeholder $50 million guaranteed. You don't do that. So you go get Geno Smith for a year and go get him as a placeholder if you're interested in, I guess, chalking up the season. So you go see if they can get 8, 9 wins, and you'll find out within the first year or 2 whether you like him or not.
Yeah, and these things tend to move quickly. You mentioned Geno Smith. I think he's an interesting case study when it comes to this. He's done it twice. It worked out tremendously with the Seattle Seahawks. Comeback player of the year for Geno, his first year being a quarterback, 4,000-yard passer. And outside of it, really good in Seattle. They won, and they didn't make the playoffs because of how loaded the NFC was. And then there's the other side of Geno where he signed with the Raiders last year and it didn't work out. So I agree with Colin. I think we're going to know pretty quickly if Malik Willis is going to be able to play some football. I wonder how they're going to handle a young quarterback, meaning where they're going to draft one. Do they plan on maybe drafting one in the 3rd round, in the 4th round, in the 2nd round? I don't think there really are quarterbacks worth drafting in the 1st round outside of Fernando Mendoza. We've had the combine already. Usually you get the combine quarterback years past, Anthony Richardson and company. I haven't necessarily heard of any combine quarterback coming out there. So my best guess is that you ride for Willis. You try to ride Willis out 2 years. You hope that he's serviceable. You hope that you can build a good team around a la Seattle Seahawk and what they did with Darnold and Geno, and you take it from there. And even the Packer, I know Packer fans would argue with me that Jordan Love is elite. I don't think Jordan Love is elite. I think he's good. I think he's solid. And I think they have a pretty good team around him, and that's why they're a pretty good team right now. So I'm excited to see what this looks like and where the young quarterback fits into all of this, and how early maybe they might be willing to draft one in the next 2 years.
Yeah, $45 million guaranteed. You could always front load it. I mean, he's getting paid a good contract for not playing a whole lot. But they had no options. This was it. If you were interested in contending, this is the only solution that they had. Geno Smith was not a viable option. Unless you were going to trade for somebody like Garoppolo or Mac Jones, there was no real solution that was out there in the short term for the Miami Dolphins other than Willis.
All right, so Willis is here in Miami. We're both fans of it. We like the money attached to it. Easy to get out of if he's bad. Good move. Tua, are you buying the Atlanta rumors? Obviously, Kevin Stefanski, the head coach now in Atlanta. Colin, I'm pretty shocked that that's a rumor right now.
Yeah,
that's
bizarre.
That Stefanski would be interested in Tua with Michael Penix there already. They just got out of the Kirk Cousins, or rather, they are getting out of the Kirk Cousins deal. Are you buying anything with Tua to Atlanta?
I mean, if that's the case, he's going to sign for the veteran minimum. That's fine. I mean,
it's not going to be a starter.
It's not. They don't know. They're not going to owe him any money. The Dolphins are paying his contract, so that's why if they're able to get him for absolutely nothing, I don't really understand it. Why would you want injury prone number one being backed up by injury prone number two? They're both lefties. They're both pocket passers. I understand the scheme fit, but in terms of the health and reliability fit, I don't know really what you could gain from it. It's not like Tua's learning anything from Penix. He's older than him. I don't know if he's old. Yeah, he is older than him by like maybe a year. They're like the same age.
They are.
And I don't know. So you're not necessarily. The only thing it is a fresh start for a guy who just, I guess, needs to get out of the picture for a year. And I think that's maybe what he's looking for. You just need to get a job somewhere. You don't want to go to a terrible situation. Stefanski's good with a player like him. That's probably your look. But if I'm a Falcon fan, I mean, I don't love it, but the idea is if Penix doesn't work out in the next year to 2 years, a year or two, whatever it looks like, then you can make a solution. You're not getting him. You're just getting him as backup. You hope to never go to him. You hope to never call his name at any point in the season.
I thought there was a chance that Tua could be a starter, maybe for the Jets this year. The Colts call until Daniel Jones is healthy and available to be a quarterback. I don't know what the hell the Vikings are going to do. Colin, every day it seems like I'm reading something different about if the Vikings like J.J. McCarthy or not.
Kyler probably.
Okay.
If they're going to get somebody, it's probably going to be Kyler.
And then you throw J.J. to the curb. That's all done. That experiment's over.
You keep him. You keep him.
Okay.
You keep both. I mean, I don't really know what they're unless they're waiting to see if Rodgers wants to walk and they could get Rodgers for a year and then really truly give it a 1 year go. And
then you mentioned Arizona too, and they didn't want to they didn't want to trade and front hold the cash, but now they could sign them for free.
Yeah.
So those are the teams. That's my best guess. Arizona, Indianapolis till Dimes comes back. The Jets because they're the worst team in football. And what was the other one I said?
Arizona.
Minnesota. So those teams right there make sense.
I mean, did you see that the Daniel Jones camp was asking for $50 million a year after the Colts initially approached him with a Sam Darnold
I need
contract?
His agent. Because remember, Danny Dimes had that great contract after they beat Kirk Cousins and the Vikings in the playoffs in that dome. All right. And then that's what did in Brian Dable, ultimately. I know he got to coach Jacksonville, but listen, I need his agent. $50 million.
Just an ask. They're not going to give him that.
So, but still, $50 million, Kyle. I almost fell out of the chair watching that. Now listen, Kyle, if he would have stayed healthy and maybe they win a playoff game, then maybe the juice would be worth the squeeze. Right. But right now, you can't. You can't. Don't you agree?
No, not a problem.
And then I know, Richardson, they're trying to work through and getting rid of him too. Like, he wants out. They don't have a lot of options right now. Jones is injured. I get wanting to strike while the iron's hot, but maybe if he won a playoff game, too early right now.
Coming off bad injury, too, I think what he realizes is that this is maybe one of the last truly big contracts, prime of your career, that you could possibly get. So they're shooting for the stars. They realize the Colts don't have a lot of leverage, so you could really go for it. and he's not interested in going anywhere else, it's just a little strange that a guy like that wouldn't want to take a team-friendly contract. He's made plenty of money.
Yeah.
You're interested in the fact that he didn't want to take a team-friendly contract. I know they're getting Alec Pierce back. If that means anything, he's making $29 million a year, which is absolutely ludicrous for Alec Pierce.
And they traded Pittman to the Steelers for nothing.
And they traded Pittman for the Steelers, and they didn't want to pay him. And then the Steelers immediately pay Michael Pittman about $19 million a year alongside DK Metcalf, which was actually a good move. They needed somebody like him. We'll get into some of the rest of the free agency signings, some of our biggest winners and losers throughout the NFL. Coming up on the other side of things, 888-760-3776. Who is your big winner and big loser of free agency through about couple hours? Let us know. That's 888-760-3776. Mike Rizzo, Colin, Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. There's nothing better than this time of year when college basketball takes over your radio. Wednesday, madness is setting in, and it starts with the ACC tournament at 7. One bad half, and you're done. It's right here on ESPN 1063.
Hi, I'm Janice Ridenour from J. Zello & Associates. For nearly 30 years, my firm has worked alongside business owners and their teams, helping them truly understand QuickBooks with clear accounting guidance, proven workflows, and hands-on training. We offer customized QuickBooks online training delivered in a supportive, judgment-free environment so you can learn at your pace. If you're stressed about your books, you don't have to be. Get trained, get confident, get it right. And when you need ongoing support or you'd rather have it done for you, our experienced team is here to help. Visit jzolo.com and schedule your free consultation today.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com.
That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com.
Hey, ref, time out, man. All right, team, we're only down by 5. We can still win this. Grab some water and get back out there. Whoa, not that water. You need Culligan water. With a free water test and advanced reverse osmosis purification system, Culligan helps reduce contaminants, delivering cleaner, safer, better tasting water. Enjoy 12 months interest-free. Schedule your free test today at Culligan.com. Serving all of South Florida, residential or commercial.
Hey, Colligan man!
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Well, if you had a side bet with your buddies that Malik Willis would be a Miami Dolphin at the end of the season last year and Tua Tagovailoa will get dropped, released, and owed $99 million in compensation over a 2-year period, and you won big, you got to put it somewhere. I'll put it with Flagler Credit Union.
Absolutely, folks. Flagler Credit Union, they are the guys I trust with my money. I mention all the time, moved here to South Florida about a year and a half ago, needed a bank. Needed a home base, needed to set some things up, and I chose the local guys, Flagler Credit Union. I got a personal checking account and a savings account. Flagler Credit Union has business and personal options that will help you manage your finance and simply save for all your banking needs. They are a non-for-profit cooperative, which means they're going to charge less when you need to take out some money to possibly get that new car, get that new home appliance, get that, the fixer-upper. You got that fixer-upper home that you got on the cheap. You need some cash to kind of fix things up. Think of Flagler Credit Union because they will charge less because they're a non-for-profit cooperative. They got 4 convenient locations across Palm Beach County: Boca Raton, Lake Clark Shores, North Palm Beach, West Palm Beach. I go to the one right here in West Palm Beach because I live in Palm Beach Lakes. You pick. Flagler Credit Union is the official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics as well. You could open up an account today by visiting flaglercu.org. That's flaglercu.org, or stop by one of their 4 locations. Now, Colin Bryan at Flagler Credit Union, he is a Miami of Ohio grad, and we were texting about that game on Friday night. If I could bring in Christian Cat, our producer behind the glass today, we took Ohio outright to win. And it came down to a 3-pointer. It would have been we would have won our cash, brother. We would have cashed in a serious payday if Ohio made that 3-pointer at the end of the game.
Or you could even say at the end of regulation, they had a floater too that rimmed out, a tie game. They could have won the game there. It was unbelievable. As good of a basketball game as seen all year.
Hindsight 2020, Christian. I should have listened to you, and we should have just took the spread at 5.5. But I don't mind that bet. I don't.
Yeah, it was a parlay, though, so we wouldn't have won the bet because I had Daniel Berger to win at the Arnold Palmer, and he lost in a playoff because he played golf like a pansy. But
terrible.
You know, he's defensive on the 18th playoff hole back-to-back times.
You can't be up that big on a Sunday. You can't. You lose your edge. That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, but folks, Flagler Credit Union, get your personal checking account, business checking account today. That's our good friends at Flagler Credit Union.
You think this Tua, how the Dolphins have not only handled this from the get-go of when they signed Tua, Albert Breer came out and said they were on the hook technically for Tua Tagovailoa. Let's say he plays for the minimum this year. Here's what he put out. The Dolphins will wind up paying nearly $147 million for just 2 years on his 2024 extension. They had him at the time when they did do the extension for $23.4 million option for 2024. And so at that point, it would be over $123 million for one additional year of Tua.
Quarterbacks are expensive, partner. They're expensive.
My response to that is hopefully that serves a little bit of a market correction for the position. Sam Darnold, a mixture of that, Daniel Jones, the Geno Smiths of the world. Hopefully this serves as a little bit of a market correction for what you can accomplish with less and the financial, I guess, commitment that you have to make, and don't jump overboard immediately.
And I think it's a big reason why Chris Greer obviously doesn't have a job anymore. He thought back in 2024 that Tua was going to be able to be a top 5 quarterback. He was getting top 5 quarterback money. You know, you look at Tua's contract, it's like Burrows, it's like Allen's, it's like Mahomes, and it's like Jackson's. And I mean, guys, there's a big talent discrepancy between Tua and those guys that I just named. And I love the point Kyle brought up of build a team and build around from there. Build a good team, get a game manager, and let's run. It's no longer like I go back to the NFL I grew up with. It was the gunslinger era, man. It was the Tom Brady, the Peyton Manning, the Phillip Rivers, the Drew Brees, the Brett Favre, the Aaron Rodgers, the Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, even Trent Green. I know he didn't win anything. That guy was a gunslinger. Like, those days of needing the 4,000-yard passer, I don't necessarily think you need to do it anymore. The game's changed a little bit. People run that double high safety, and then they give you the underneath. I think if you build your team, and then you build an accurate, and you get an accurate quarterback who's not going to turn the ball over, you run the ball well, build your offensive line, that's how you win now.
I'm not saying you need a bad player. I would just say you don't need to make the financial contribution that you might think you need to. You should not be hamstrung into making an extension this early. You need to be absolutely sure you're going to give that the amount of money that you're going to give them. You need to be absolutely sure. And if you're not, then don't do it.
It's and a lot of the teams, Kyle, they give the deals because they're afraid of going to quarterback purgatory. You know, I think a big reason why the Dolphins wanted to
and they think they're
themselves.
They think they're saving their money short term.
And now you're 99 against the cap for the next 2 years.
Can't do it. You got to change that. Yeah. So hopefully this does serve as a little bit of a market correction for how not to handle the position. Is that not only with how they handled him on the field, putting him back in that for that Thursday night game, Cincinnati, when he comes in and gets that second concussion in 2024. Situations like that, this is just entirely avoidable. Now, Jeff Hafley, John Eric Sullivan, all the other Dolphins brass, you walk in, you say, all right, well, this is going to be, we're going to have to eat a year financially because of Tua, but they're just trying to, rid themselves of the fat. I don't know how if you could ever put it into context, just how bad you have to be for a team to pay you $99 million to not be involved in their franchise. But I also, a lot of me thinks that Tua was dealt a bad hand. I mean, it wasn't completely on him. There's a reason that the general manager, there's a reason that the coach were all fired. He was failed by the medical staff there. These are all things that contributed to Tua's demise as a Miami Dolphins quarterback. So I'm not going to pin it entirely on him, but hopefully this serves as a little bit of a market correction for jumping into the deep end before you know you're ready.
And injuries hurt Tua, too, obviously, with the head injuries and even the ACL injury back in college. I mean, the poor man has dealt with so many problems when it comes to getting injured. Now, Colin, Malik Willis, Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith. Who would you? So once again, Geno, Tua, Kyler, Malik. If you needed a quarterback, who do you want? I'd probably say Willis just because you don't know.
1 year. If I had the right coach in place, I'd go Kyler.
Now, injuries with him. If he's available.
Here's the thing.
Right, I agree.
Let's say Malik does work out. Malik Willis. He's never thrown more than 61 passes in a season. How much of an outlier would he be as a success story?
Right.
You can't. I mean, you bring up what? Darnold? Darnold started. Darnold played. Geno played. Daniel Jones played a lot. Daniel Jones was available. This would be a tremendous case study at taking a risk on somebody that you think might be pretty good. I remember one of the last times we saw this, and the guy did still play, was Nick Foles when he signed with Jacksonville. I know he got hurt that first game of the year, but that never worked out. So there's a sense in terms of historically where this would be a tremendous outlier if this guy is a star. But if he's serviceable, all right.
Yeah.
That's fine. And if there's a franchise you're going to trust a backup with, it is Green Bay. That's the bottom line.
Believe it or not, for me, Kyler injury history, Tua injury history, it's probably Willis or Geno for me. And I probably would go.
How could you say Geno?
Because he did it 2 years ago. He won 10 games 2 years
ago.
With
a team that was the best constructed team. Those teams do not need quarterbacks. That was a tremendously constructed team with a top 5 head coach.
But I think all these guys need good situations.
There's no doubt. How can you not make the conclusion that since Geno has been terrible everywhere outside of Seattle, that maybe it was a Seattle thing and not a Geno thing?
I don't think that the Jets can bring Geno back. You did that. I mean, geez, you drafted the guy. So
I totally agree.
I don't think you're bringing him back.
I totally agree.
But Kyler and Tua, the availability is big for me. You got to be available. That's why if I had to pick between these two guys, I would go with either Malik or Geno. Malik, you don't know. There's the unknown there of he could be great or he could, stink for all intents and purposes. Here's another thing I would ask.
One of them is $20 million a year, and one of them could be 1.5. They have offsets in their contract. They're owed money. Tua's owed $67 million. He does not need. He could sign wherever he wants.
Yeah, it's a veteran minimum.
So can Kyler Murray. Because every dollar he makes from the new team, the Cardinals owe less.
Didn't Geno get released from the Raiders as well?
I don't think his offset language is as strong as the other two.
Okay,
but
fair.
I do know for a fact, those two, comparatively to Malik Willis, you have to make a significant contribution comparatively. You could give Kyler Murray a 1-year deal, and then if he's great after 10 games, extend him. But you don't necessarily know what you're going to see, but you're also not going to give the money that requires a top-tier starter.
I just feel like a lot of these teams are faced with the impossible right now of trying to field the quarterback with those guys being the ones available. And that's why I applaud the Dolphins, because they're Packer guys and they're going with the guy that they've known within their organization for 3 years. So, but I thought, interesting. Willis, Tua, Kyler, Geno. That's really the quarterback market right now, so to say.
Another move that I want to get your thoughts on, the Buccaneers letting Mike Evans kind of walk for a contract with the San Francisco 49ers. He was actually offered a good contract, reportedly from the Buccaneers amongst other teams, but he made the decision to make that likely that final move of his career in terms of contract situation with the San Francisco 49ers. Your thoughts there?
You want to know where I want to see him go? It's never going to happen. He should go to the Rams and play with Stafford, Nakua,
well, hold on. It's a little late
Devontae.
for that because he just signed with San Francisco.
But at the same time, you think that his final couple of years to go for a Super Bowl, the San Francisco move, it gives Purdy a target. Remember, Ayuk last year, I mean, Colin, that brother's not even playing football right now. It was one of the more odd things you've seen. He stopped showing up, so they voided his contract. So, like, they needed a target. They paid a receiver that stopped showing up to work. The San Francisco move, I think, is fine, but I thought maybe the thing that put the Rams over the edge. I'm not a Rams fan or anything like that, but I thought it would have been fun to see him have Stafford throw him the ball there with those 2 other targets. But I think it helps San Francisco. They needed a receiver. That's simple. It's going to be weird not seeing him in a Buccaneer jersey. He was Mr. Tampa Bay. I mean, what's the record that he holds? I'm shooting from the hip here of like 1,000 yards and
most consecutive seasons.
I mean, he is a Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. I would
first ballot.
I would put Mike Evans first ballot Hall of Famer. So I'm interested to see if he'll be able to do it with Purdy. Would have liked to see him with the Rams at Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a tremendous career, and this is going to be his final contract more likely than not. I love it too. I mean, the one thing you don't like is the most injury-prone team in the entire NFL, getting a guy who, always has that nagging hamstring and is older. But if there's a place where he can be an immediate contributor on a contending playoff team, and I actually didn't like, because it was being reported that he was looking for $27+ million a year. But absolutely not. But then the actual roster construction comes out, and it turns out he's making far less, a little over $20 million a year. So I don't think that it's necessarily a bad deal by any stretch, because they didn't get him for as much as I thought he was requesting. The word out was 1 year, $27 million offered from somebody. I mean, I would rather get him for 2 years comparatively to that one off for $30 million. So he's going to be, it's kind of a shame. He was a Buccaneer for life type of guy, but he is somebody that I think will make an immediate contribution.
I agree. And
it's a good get for them.
It's a good get for them. And if you're Tampa Bay, you got Ibuka, you still got Godwin under contract. So you still got weapons there for Baker Mayfield, but going to be a little weird not seeing, big Mike Evans not suit up for Tampa Bay. And Shanahan gets his red zone target.
Yep. So
he gets it. You got Kyle. You got in the red zone. You got Kittle and you got Mike Evans. 2 really big targets.
Yeah, and they got athletes, and they needed an extra piece. You saw that. I mean, Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. It's tough getting all those guys on the field at once. I like that. I thought that was one of the better moves of the day. Weirdly enough, I know it's 3 years, but he's a Hall of Famer. Doesn't handicap you too much, and if he's any good, he's a good postseason performer. You know that. He's proven. And he's a great vet to have around. So I actually think it's a good move if it works out.
NFC West still loaded, man. I mean, San Francisco, the defending champs in Seattle, and the Rams. The 3 playoff teams on March the 9th of 2026. Dare I say those are 3 playoff teams again coming up next year.
And while we announce it, some breaking news presented by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Breaking news on ESPN 1063 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Numbers haven't released yet, but former Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa plans to sign a 1-year contract that is official with the Atlanta Falcons. No money attached yet. 1-year deal. Who knows how much that is worth. Dolphins are still going to be on the hook for a whole lot more. But he is now going to be joining the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm shocked, to be honest. Very shocked. We've talked about Penix before. I didn't think Penix was a Stefanski quarterback. I don't think Tua is a Stefanski quarterback either. So I'm interested to see what it's going to look like in training camp. Is it going to be a quarterback battle? Is this Michael Penix's team? Is Tua a backup? I think
he's a backup, but he's signed for a 1-year contract.
I think things just got tremendously interesting in Atlanta. I do, Colin.
He's a backup. What do you expect him to be more?
I don't know. We'll see.
I agree. It's a weird situation because of the injury history, but he is their starter. Penix, that is.
I think. I just don't know why you bring in Tua.
A lefty backup.
It makes no sense to me unless he's
competing. It's scheme fit.
Okay,
they play similarly.
I think unless he's competing for a starting job, I don't know why you bring Tua into a locker room where you got a young quarterback. You're trying to get some confidence. That's it.
He's a vet.
Okay.
Tua's not a cancer. Where are you getting this idea that he's a cancer?
I'm not. No. Kyle, I am on the side of. I don't think you. I think Stefanski brought Tua in to compete for the starting job
for a 1-year contract. I mean, it gives him somebody that's capable of starting outside of him, but he's not. They're not looking for a long-term starter with Tua.
We'll have to. I don't think. I told you before, and I'll tell you again. I don't think Penix is a Stefanski guy. I don't think Stefanski's very high on Penix. We'll have to wait and see how this turns out. It's just me speculating.
The same thing you said when you were blown away that he was going to be a starter this year. They released Kirk Cousins. They're not going with Tua as their starter. They're not doing that. If he gets hurt, obviously. The weirdest part is because of the injury history. But in terms of play style, they play similarly. They're pocket passers in the middle of the field. If anything, I think this gets Tua out of the limelight for a year. Okay. I think that's what he needs.
Okay. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. That's it.
Because 1 year contract, where does that tell you that he's looking for a starter? I know, yes, that's how Sam Darnold happened. That's how Daniel Jones happened. But it gives them some credibility on the back half if Penix were to go down. That's it.
Penix got drafted, and he had to deal with Kirk Cousins being there. And now Kirk Cousins finally gone, and you bring in Tua. And it's like, oh, God. All right, I thought I was in the clear, and now I got Tua here in this circus. I think it's a tough spot for Penix, and this kind of makes me think that they're not very high on Penix anymore.
But what does it tell you? Because they were not benching Penix. Penix got hurt. He got hurt. They didn't play him at the beginning of his career because he was a rookie. You don't need to play him at the beginning of his career.
I agree.
And then he got hurt. They weren't opening it up.
You signed Cousins to that big contract. You were always starting him. It was a weird situation from the start because people around the league were scratching their head on why they're drafting Penix where they did after they paid Cousins. So I guess that was more what I was alluding to.
Can you see it from the perspective that maybe they're trying to bring in there's not a lot of successful lefty quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Maybe they're trying to bring in a lefty who has seen success to operate as a little bit of a veteran.
Maybe. There's always, and granted it's the Browns, but there is always a quarterback kind of controversy with Stefanski if who's going to be the starter. Is it Joe Flacco? Is it Deshaun Watson? Is it last year, the nightmare of Shedeur Sanders? Like, I don't know. I think Stefanski brings these guys in thinking that they're going to play some games. And maybe it is, maybe I am overreacting. Maybe it is just, hey, Penix has an injury history, and here's a guy you could go to for a solid backup. Maybe it's as easy as that. I am interested to see how training camp shakes out.
Because why would you sign him to a 1 year contract he provides some security, but I'm not under any impression that this shows that they're not interested in Michael Penix. They would have kept Kirk Cousins if they were disinterested in Michael Penix. So they got rid of him. So what does that tell you? Tells you that they wanted the cheap backup. Boom, they found one. A cheap backup with experience. They got one.
They did. And like I said, maybe I'm overreacting a bit, but I know Stefanski didn't draft Penix. He wasn't around when, Penix was being whispered around in the building, and we kind of know how things go when new regimes step in. So, like I said, man, training camp, man, Atlanta, I think it just heated up a little bit.
I don't understand why you're under this impression. You think he's going to dominate Michael Penix in training camp? Is that what you're thinking?
I just think that
Tua stink or not?
I personally don't rate Tua, but clearly Atlanta does, and clearly Kevin Stefanski does. They're thinking they got this guy on a free. They got him for nothing.
Exactly.
And they're adding.
Done. That's it. All it is upside. All it is. Because he's not anticipated to be the starter. He's not required to be the starter. He's not expected to be the starter. At the very least, he is somebody, because they have a team that is talented enough to win games and contend for a playoff spot. They got somebody who has been in a football game before if they need to call upon him at any point in the season.
I just think they could have gone a lot of different directions for a backup, and this is an interesting backup.
It's cheap. That's it. It's cheap, right?
I'm not, no arguments here, but God, he could have went cheap, somewhere else too.
I mean, give me an example. What do they want, Gardner Minshew back there? Here's why it's good too, because your right tackle is going to be your left tackle the whole year, right?
Yeah.
On a traditional offense, your right tackle is going to be your most important piece, and that's something that they had to deal with Cousins and Penix. It's stability. You don't have to change how you operate the offense because you have two lefties. I'm surprised you're not on the side of this is just a safety net. It's a safety net.
Scars of being a Brown fan, buddy. I guess this is what this is. It's a weird signing for me for Kevin Stefanski's first year there.
But it's safe, and maybe the lefty was a big part of it because they're running an offense. They're building an offense that caters to a lefty.
Yeah,
and that's different.
Possibly.
How they run the ball, how they call plays. I'm surprised you're not on the same side here. Just because he was on the circus in Cleveland means he wants to start the circus again in Atlanta?
It's a bold move. Would you agree with that? It's a bold move bringing Tua in.
I would say it's bold that they signed him to a 2 year, $35 million contract.
Yeah.
I think in 1 year, we don't have the money yet. If it's cheap.
And I like Kevin. I think Kevin got a bad rap at that godforsaken organization.
I think the weirdest part about it, outside of the scheme fit, is just the injuries. Because you don't have somebody that's that consistently available on the back half. But you get 2 lefties. We'll see what the Falcons have to do there. Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. If you're driving down 95, getting a little bit of a fender bender, don't know who to call. Who's going to get my back? Well, if you've been in that car accident, truck accident, suffered that slip and fall, Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're the type that like to fight for you. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Go get the best. Go demand the best. Go demand Anajar and Levine, because that's the difference. Take that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call the free consultation today. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Early winners and losers of free agency coming up on the other side of things. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most. Getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar and Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Baseball is back. The crack of the bat, the smell of the grass, the return of game day energy is all here in West Palm Beach at Cacti Park with great matchups in your own backyard. Watch top matchups all spring long. That's Cardinals, Phillies, Mets, Yankees, Marlins, Orioles, and the Pirates. Plus special exhibition games against Team Venezuela. Big league talent, future stars, every day feels like opening day at Sunshine Baseball and Ballpark Eats. Tickets are on sale now at cactipark.com. Don't miss spring training in West Palm Beach. Secure your seats today.
She ain't gon' tie me down. Why you on the road? Got it on the shirts, all the hats, all the clothes. What you want?
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Free agency rolls on here for the NFL. The big moves of the day, Mike Evans going to the San Francisco 49ers. Michael Pittman going to the Steelers. Wide receiver from Indianapolis going to the Steelers and immediately getting signed to a 3-year contract extension. Tells you that they weren't totally satisfied with what DK Metcalf and him and his on-field and off-field antics had to do. Alec Pierce was a big winner of today, being a fourth-year player who everybody thought was going to go to the New England Patriots, signed for a 4-year, $114 million deal. The highest paid free agent wide receiver in NFL history, which means could sign anywhere, not extension. The highest paid free agent. 47 receptions last year.
He's that big player. Sorry. He's the big player, bust player. First year going over 1,000 yards, by the way. And 47 catches was the most he ever had in a season.
I mean, strange. That's a strange one. That's a strange one. And now the one thing about him is he was valuable to what they did because he just opened everything up. But $27 million, $27 and $28 million for that? Are we kidding me?
So, Kyle, they signed him to that, and then they trade Michael Pittman for nothing because
he
didn't want to
pay both of them. Because he gave all of it to Pierce.
That's what I mean. Maybe, 15 each. 27 a year, throw an extra $3 million or 30, 15 each for him. 2 years deal, 15. I don't know. That was an odd one to me. I'd rather have Pittman. Am I crazy for that? Doesn't Pittman do more from watching the
He's
Colts?
a little bit more in between, but he doesn't open up the offense.
He's more vertical. I mean, Pierce is the deep threat. That's what that is.
22 yards per reception.
That's what I mean. He's the deep threat. I mean, when you have 47 receptions and you have 1,003 yards on the dot, that's how you know you're just a deep ball threat.
Yeah.
Fine.
I just think that it's weird. That's a strange one. I thought that was a laughable amount of money for a player like Alec Pierce.
You like what the Colts have been doing? Now, the Colts, I say what they've been doing. They traded picks for Sauce Gardner. Isn't their status of their first-round pick with the Jets?
Yes.
So, Gardner, Pierce, you think that they're going to sign, and I apologize if this came out. Folks, I can't keep up. There's 50,000 things coming an hour. Danny Dimes, if something got figured out there, we heard the rumor there was $50 million that they were asking for.
Yeah, not yet.
But the Colts are interesting because they, 8-2 to begin the year, and then they immediately fell on their face when Jones got hurt. And it stinks, right? You can't predict Jones getting hurt. If Daniel Jones stays healthy, they're probably a playoff team.
Yeah, that's why I don't blame him for the Sauce Gardner move.
No,
I don't.
You got to go for it.
It's a multi-time All-Pro talent. You were at 8 wins at the time. You were the top of the AFC. Why wouldn't you do that?
And for the next 2 years, I would think the player that they would take with that first-round pick, I think Sauce Gardner would probably outperform whatever player that they would bring in with the first-round pick.
Also a good point.
They felt that they were ready to go. Now, what stinks, Kyle, for the Colts, all of a sudden the Jags are the next hot thing in the NFL. The Houston Texans have the best defense. All of a sudden, that's a tough division. In the beginning of the season, it's like, all right, it's going to be the Texans by default. The Jags were a hell of a good team this year. And the Texans are probably, and it kills me to say this, love you, CJ, but the Texans are probably a quarterback away from being a true threat.
And the Titans have finally figured out a coach and a good coaching staff, and they're spending money.
Yeah.
They've made a couple of moves today. They got Wan'Dale Robinson. They got guys in there today. So I agree. It's a tough division now, and I don't know if I am ultra confident, but they got a good coach. There's no doubt about that. I guess that tells you that they're under the impression that Daniel Jones will be ready at least within the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year. Who knows? But I think you could be under the impression that they liked what they saw in the period that they saw it, and you had to make a couple of decisions. I don't think Michael Pittman or Alec Pierce were either worth breaking the bank over. But the thing about Pittman is Pittman was more available because of what Pierce did. I think they view it as Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, Jonathan Taylor. Other guys are reliant on Pierce to sort of open things up, whereas Michael Pittman's existence doesn't necessarily determine whether Alec Pierce is going to be contributing.
Well, you need guys like Josh Downs now to step up, and even Tyler Warren.
Yeah, so that's it. They get the underneath right in front of you.
Yeah, and
that's what they do.
Pittman had 80 receptions. So this was a guy that Jones, who was in the back half, Minshew. He was a target that the quarterbacks like throwing to. I could see them drafting a receiver maybe in the second or third round too.
Yeah, it was Jones and Phillip Rivers and Riley Leonard.
Hey, how could I forget old man Rivers, my guy, coming back?
Yeah. So strange, but I can't necessarily go too hard on the move itself. I just think that's a laughably gross amount of money for Alec Pierce, of all people. And Alec Pierce is a good player, underrated player, even. But I just thought that was a little aggressive, if I had to say so myself.
Now, how about the Steelers? They've kind of went, hey, we can't really draft a receiver anymore, so we're just going to trade for him, and we're just going to sign him. They did it with DK Metcalf, and they did it here with Pittman. I'm actually a fan of what they did. I don't know.
Good move.
I don't know if it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if it's going to be Will Howard or maybe a mix of both. But now you got some weapons there in Pittsburgh. I know DK and everyone has a bad taste in their mouth about him punching that, or rather making contact, with that fan in Detroit. But he's still a solid player, and Pittman's a guy who caught 80 balls and 7 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, they need to get a little younger, and they just needed some young talent in there. They were able to do that. So I do like what I saw. Now, did you like what the Baltimore Ravens did in trading for Max Crosby?
Yeah, and it stinks as a Brown fan, man. It's like, oh, this guy's in the division. You know, it was one of those things where this guy's in the division. I think it was a win-win for both. I think the Raiders got they got a huge haul from it, and the Ravens clearly feel like that they're a Max Crosby away from a Super Bowl title. I know last year it didn't work out. The Ravens stubbed their toe a little too many times in the beginning of the season. A lot of close games. Lamar Jackson getting injured. But I think, the newish brass at GM, Ozzie Newsome retired a couple of years ago. Their GM and the new head coach there, Jesse Minter, I feel like that they thought Crosby was the piece that they were missing. Now, we saw this with Green Bay last year. It didn't work out. Parsons was injured, needed an epidural the whole year and needed surgery. But Crosby's healthy. He's available. And I think with that defense, what they've built, the Ravens, over the last couple of years. Remember, Colin, going into the year last year, this was supposed to be the best Raven defense in the last decade. It didn't turn out that way, but it's a defense that has a lot of talent, and throwing Crosby in the mix, I'm terrified as a Brown fan.
Yeah, the weird part
Terrified.
is, they had no pass rush last year, but they lost Tyler Linderbaum. They lost Isaiah Likely. Those Raven players have been getting plucked left and right. They're going to need to figure out some pieces offensively, because the offense, it wasn't like the offense was humming for the entirety of the year. Tyler Linderbaum's making $27 million with the Raiders as a center, which comparatively to the previous top contract, it was $18 million. Making not like $8-9 million more than the market cap of what that position was being paid. They need offensive pieces too. They're going to need to figure it out.
Mark Andrews probably passed it. You're right. They probably need to draft a tight end. They need interior line.
Is he trying to build the Chargers again? Just have Lamar Jackson fighting for his life every game and have a great defense? You got to figure pieces out. Likely's a loss for them. So, in-house fan Christian Catt, I got to imagine he's pretty happy about because you give up a first and a second round pick for two firsts for a player like that, no doubt. But now you're going to need to allocate money creatively. Yeah. So I don't know what it looks like.
Well, the offensive line part is the most alarming to me. I like building from the trenches and building out. Obviously, if you have the quarterback, it's really easy. The Ravens do have the quarterback, but you got to keep him upright. And Lamar,
that was a problem for him this year.
And he was out. He was injured, So the little head scratching there. Maybe they plan on drafting a couple guys. Maybe they plan on signing some guys on a cheap. I think 27. And listen, I love my big hogs up front, but $27 million a year for a center, pretty crazy.
A little aggressive.
I'm not necessarily, burning them at the stake for not re-signing a center for $27 million. But I don't know, man. I'm still terrified. I am. I'm still terrified as a Brown fan now, especially with what our offensive line looks like. You want to know who's terrified too? Who is on a live stream when the news came out was Jamar Chase. I mean, the Bengals O-line is a joke. And Max Crosby,
it's
Burrow,
a good line to be a defensive lineman.
That's right. Jeez, oh man.
Good division.
Burrow is just, talk about someone who can't stay healthy either. Joey B, man, my friends, Colin, they love telling me Joey B's the best quarterback in the NFL. And I love Joe. I covered the kid in high school, but it's like you haven't seen him in the playoffs for 3 years. At least these other guys are making the playoffs. I know Lamar didn't make it last year, fine. But the years before that, they were going, you were in AFC championship games. So, I think, like you said, Crosby playing against the Bengals twice a year, playing against the Browns twice a year, and even the Steelers who need offensive line. I really do think, I say this every year, but I really do think it's the Ravens division to lose, barring injury.
Now, did you like Kenneth Walker going to the Kansas City Chiefs for $43 million?
That's a lot of money. I still think that's a lot of money.
Top 5 money at the position.
It's a lot of money. And running backs, one of those positions where the wear and tear, I really do feel bad for running backs. Because what these teams do is they draft running backs in the second or third round. They hammer them for that rookie deal, and then they don't pay them. And that's exactly what happened here with Seattle. I think it's great that he's going to an Andy Reid system, but if I'm a Chief fan, I go, geez, that's a lot of money for a running back. We could have drafted a running back in the second round and been completely fine.
It is a position they've had difficulty figuring out.
Now, let me ask you this. Is this a situation where it's like Saquon Barkley? Because I'm saying this, and the last time we saw a team spend money on a running back, it worked out. Maybe it does work out to the extent of Barkley. I just don't think the Chiefs are there as a team like the Eagles were. Am I wrong on this? I don't think the Chiefs have a lot of work to do still on that roster.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking of it as just making Mahomes' life a little easier. It was announced today that Travis Kelce's coming back for his 14th NFL season. I think it's just like, how can we make Patrick Mahomes' life easier than it is currently?
And he's going to miss some time, right?
I would never pay a running back. I would never pay a running back that type of money, ever. But if they view him sort of like what Josh Jacobs can do for Green Bay, and he can be a stable, consistent back for them, then great. But until that point, I do agree with you that, $15 million a year for a running back is not something I would pay, which is why I was okay that Travis Etienne walked out the door for Jacksonville for a $52 million contract.
And you got backs in Jacksonville anyway. Is Mahomes is going to miss time?
Yeah,
they're
going to speed through the process. I'm sure the goal is for him to be back, but yeah, within the first month he'll be back.
Okay, so they're going to be backup, and maybe that's why. Maybe they knew they were going to have backup quarterback for a month, and they're going to need to run the ball 30 times.
And they had a bad rushing attack last year, so if they thought that was a running back issue, not a line issue, who knows? They let the right tackle walk out the door and Jawan Taylor. So I think they're just going to try to reconstruct it like the years have passed, where they have a good rushing attack, they've got a good offensive line. You let Mahomes facilitate and not necessarily be the entire engine.
Need a receiver, too.
Yeah, they need pieces.
They need a receiver. Rice is good.
Corners.
He's not available.
Trent McDuffie walked out the door. They traded him.
Rams.
And then they let Jalen Watson, their other top corner, go over to Los Angeles as well.
Yeah.
So they're losing. They're retooling quite a bit. So I'm curious to see how that holds out. Well, you can place your futures now on the Hard Rock Bet app if you got an inkling that there is a team that made a season-defining move like the Ravens going to get Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders. But if you haven't tried out Hard Rock Bet yet, there's no better time for new players to shoot your shot at big wins than March. The hardwood's heating up. You got top college basketball games. New signups can double their winnings on their first 10 bets. So up to $50 for your first 10 bets. If you win, your winnings get doubled for that first 10. So go throw $50 on that nearest SoCon championship game tonight, or the Sun Belt with Troy and Georgia Southern tonight. If you really want to make big on the Hard Rock Bet app, go down today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Go tournament by tournament in the PGA. Go game by game in the NBA. Go tournament by tournament in college basketball. Or go futures in the Major League Baseball and or the World Baseball Classic. You do it all today. Go get started. It's payable in bonus bets only. It's not a cash offer offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in front of the wager. Terms, conditions apply. If you're somebody you know is concerned about gambling or has a problem with gambling, call or text 1-833 play wise. We'll do a little 5 at 5 next. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
In 1977, Ford F-Series became the best-selling trucks in America. 33 million trucks later, we've kept that title every year since. And that's a formula we plan on repeating. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. The best-selling trucks in America for 49 years and counting. Based on 1977 to 2025 calendar year industry reported total sales.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Hey, it's Tina. Okay, let's be real. When you need tires or a battery, you want someone you can actually trust, right? That's why I go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been keeping South Florida moving for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. They've got all the big tire brands, plus batteries for pretty much everything. Their best price out the door guarantee means you know you're getting the best deal. So next time your car needs something, don't stress. Just go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. Trust me, they've got you covered.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
College basketball is heating up and the tournament is almost here. Don't let your home get caught off guard. Get ready now with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the court, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsyes.com today. Stay cool and be ready before the madness hits.
Hi, I'm Janice Ridenour from J. Zello and Associates. For nearly 30 years, my firm has worked alongside business owners and their teams, helping them truly understand QuickBooks with clear accounting guidance, proven workflows, and hands-on training. We offer customized QuickBooks online training delivered in a supportive, judgment-free environment so you can learn at your pace. If you're stressed about your books, you don't have to be. Get trained, get confident, get it right. And when you need ongoing support or you'd rather have it done for you, our experienced team is here to help. Visit jzillow.com and schedule your free consultation today.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Colin to the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
Second hour of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. We're streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida and ESPN West Palm on Twitter and Facebook. Missed any of the program, go listen back. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, all those great places. Just go listen to it there. Christian Catt is our producer behind the glass today. We got Mike Tannenbaum, the ESPN NFL free agency insider himself, the former general manager of the New York Jets and the former executive vice president of football operations for the Miami Dolphins, joining us in about 12, 15 minutes. Christian Catt, how are you today? What's going on?
Good. It's been a while since both Russo and Rizzo, and theoretically speaking, were both in studio on the same day.
Yep.
I don't recall this, happening the last 2 weeks, so it's back into the swing of things.
Yeah, at the very least. Yeah, we've been on remote a lot. We'll be on remote tomorrow at Amerant Bank Arena for the Florida Panthers, who are desperately trying to cling on to playoff hopes. They won yesterday, so a little bit of optimism there. But, so we've been on remote a lot, but more importantly, you play golf this weekend.
Yeah, I played 2 rounds, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Went to the James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational.
I saw you got Rondé Barber. How was Rondé?
Oh, it was spectacular.
Did you mention that I met him at Gasparilla?
I forgot to.
You forgot.
I asked him about if he was keeping his twin brother Tiki out of the Hall of Fame so that he had a leg up on him. He said no. He is
Tiki's not getting in, yeah.
Leading rusher for the New York Giants, the historical organization.
Yeah, he's probably not getting in.
If he played one more year, he'd be in the Hall of Fame because he'd be on the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
It's a running back. It's not a running back award, I understand, but maybe.
Kyle, we had Urlacher.
Yeah, how was Brian Urlacher?
It was good. He didn't, by the way, Christian, he didn't remember me, which is okay. But I interviewed him once before in Peoria at Cruisins on Farmington Road. Gosh, that was eons ago. But, he was great. And then we also had Dermontti Dawson. So we got a couple of guests. How about that? Got a couple of guests there.
Okay. Dawson was on the Steel Curtain Steelers, right?
No, 90s. He was the center. And he actually, Colin, got voted on the all-time Steeler team ever. So the best Steelers center.
What year did he get
So
there?
he went to Kentucky, and he graduated in 1989.
Okay,
and
so he just
played for the
missed it.
Yeah. So to be honest, he played on a lot of bad Steeler teams. You know, Steelers weren't good in the 90s.
No.
They were
Well,
not
they
good
made that.
in the
He
90s.
was in the Super Bowl team that lost to the Cowboys 2 straight years. Was he on that team with Neil McDonald running the quarterback? That was 90. That must have been 95, 96.
Oh, geez. I'm at your
He
mercy.
was on that Super Bowl team. That was when that was Cowher's first year.
Yeah, he was there. He was definitely on it. Because I'm at your mercy. I totally forgot the Steelers made a Super Bowl in the 90s. That's on your boy.
Yeah. That was Neil McDonald was that quarterback of that team. And that's when they played. That was at the Rose Bowl. And they played the Aikman team. I believe that was the team with Deion Sanders, and they smoked them. Actually, no. That was the team that Larry Brown won the Super Bowl MVP at cornerback because he had the fumble. That was actually a competitive game. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, we talked with Urlacher. We talked a lot about the Miami game. And he, everyone blames Grossman for the fumble and whatever. Brian goes, dude, we were terrible on defense that game. We gave up 27 points on defense. It was not Rex's fault. So that was interesting to hear.
Let's bounce around. Let's do a little 5 by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking Big Ten.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU Athletics. Number 1.
Now, there is so much NFL news, and we will get to it all like we have all day on ESPN 106.3. But what might have flown under the radar over the weekend was a pretty historically bad weekend for the Hurley brothers. We had news earlier today. Arizona State basketball coach, right, Bobby Hurley, canned, fired, gone. And then over the weekend, Saturday, UConn looks like they're going to get a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. No, that's not the case.
3. No. Rebound. Marquette. .4 is left. It's not over. It's not over. Did we get a T?
Danny Hurley just got thrown out of the game.
Danny Hurley just got turned away. A technical called by Gaffney as Hurley left the bench. That will secure the win, and the crowd knows it.
So a really bad Marquette team beats UConn in an upset at home. Danny Hurley gets ejected with under a second to go in the game. He made some contact with the official, but Danny Hurley doesn't really remember it that way.
didn't think I bumped the ref. I thought I got close to like yelling at John. I mean, if John thinks I bumped him, then he'll say I bumped him, but I don't think that I bumped the official. I think I yelled, into the back of his head, foul. And then you're listen. The officiating for us, it is what it is. In this league, I'm not going to comment. On that.
Danny Hurley blows up again.
He's the best.
Happens in a loss.
I don't think he hit him. I'm looking at the video.
I agree. I think it's totally overblown.
I don't think he hit him.
Totally overblown.
Did he deserve to be teed up? Probably.
And thrown out? Probably.
Probably. But he didn't hit him. Hey, let's make that clear.
He bumped him. He made contact.
Bumping
Not
is
really.
certainly
Not
a word.
really.
It's
Not
certainly
really.
a word.
I don't think he did.
If that referee was trying to catch
I
it.
heard people saying he should be suspended from the Big East tournament. Guys, let's calm down.
Hang on. No. You can't. Guys, you can't suspend the... Hurley is the Big East, all right? And listen, I love Johnny Fanta. He's a personal friend of mine, all right? Big East stinks this year. That tournament needs Hurley, all right? I know, listen, St. John's and Patino, whatever. The only team that has a chance to do anything in March is Hurley's squad. They're not suspending him for the Big East tournament. Colin, I will listen to kind of Hurley, though, like getting the benefit of the doubt, maybe a little more on some of these situations, but this is who he is. Like, I don't know, man. Don't hate the player, hate the game. This is who Hurley is.
Yeah.
When you win 2 championships and go back-to-back, it gives you a little leadway to be a you-know-what. And I'm all for it.
All these coaches do this. They all ride their officials all game. Every single coach.
Maybe not like that, but listen. He didn't hit him.
Krzyzewski famously never let the refs hear the end of it. Famously. And Todd Golden the other night was telling fans to screw off and go home at Rupp Arena after playing Kentucky. Todd Golden, the head coach of Florida, by the way. So these guys can quietly do all these things, and it's just because of Hurley. It is. Now, that being said, nobody ever takes a bad loss worse than Dan Hurley.
Oh, he's a sore loser.
He's as sore loser as there is. That's just who he is. That's just who he is. He drives you crazy, losing some of these games. But that's just how it goes.
You mentioned me. It cost him a 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. Florida took a 1 seed. Here's the thing. Florida's got one more loss, and UConn beat them head-to-head. But the fact is that Florida's probably the hottest team in the sport. The UConn is likely going to be a 2 seed, a high 2 seed, maybe either in Florida's bracket. I don't think they could be in Duke's bracket because that would be the East, and I don't think they're not going to put the top 1 overall seed with the top 2 seed. I think they'll be in Florida's bracket.
I would love to see a rematch of Hurley and Golden.
That was what it was going to be. Florida would have been the top 2 seed anyway.
Yeah.
It's not great. I don't love it, but here's one thing. That team is very akin to the 2023 team that had 7 losses, was a 3 seed, and they beat San Diego State after FAU lost in the game winner. That team lost to Marquette last game of the regular of the year before the tournament as well.
Are they that good? That team at Castle, that team at Wright, they were loaded.
Castle was the next year. That was the year they had Klingon, Adama Sonogo, if you remember that name, Tristan Newton, Andre Jackson Jr. is currently on the Bucks. That team was really good. They won every tournament game by 12 plus.
I mean, it was the most impressive run, arguably, by a team. But listen, Colin and I are fired up for college hoops, to say the least. I'm ready to go. I thought the Bobcats were going to beat the Miami of Ohio.
That's good for the sport that they didn't. Because Akron's really good.
So that's a battle of the bricks, buddy. It's my alma mater.
Ohio played well.
They did. Darn it.
Played well.
And then the Buckeyes are probably in. What's on number 2?
Fired up for college hoops. We're also kind of fired up for baseball. The World Baseball Classic is off and running throughout the weekend, and we had some action about an hour down the road at Lone Depot Park. I don't know, since Giancarlo Stanton was hitting home runs in that building, if I've ever heard it louder than this. Fernando Tatis at the plate, bases juiced. Dominican Republic on top, 1-0 in the top of the second over Israel. That was earlier today. That was before lunchtime, just past noon in Lone Depot Park. Of course, the final score of that game, Dominican Republic did roll. You've got United States playing Mexico tonight at 8 o'clock. USA a heavy favorite in that game.
You know, we don't beat them. We never beat Mexico in like international games in baseball. They have our number.
Huh.
Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be fun.
Yeah. It's always an interesting game. We never beat Mexico. They have our number in baseball. I'm expecting to win in tremendous fashion tonight.
How plugged in are you into the World Baseball Classic, and where is it in your attention span in terms of pro or college sports right now?
You got to watch every U.S. game for sure.
I didn't watch the blowouts.
I mean, yeah,
I didn't need to
turn
see
it,
but hang on.
You turn it off eventually.
The
you got to start it.
Guys, the Great Britain game was we were down 1-0 till the 5th inning.
Right.
Listen, Schwarber had the home run, made it 3-1, and then that's when the game.
Going.
That was a dude, Scooble. All right, I'm sorry, but Scooble, Mister, I'm throwing 55 pitches. The first at bat home run, brother. What are we doing here? You're playing Great Britain. You forget what sport you're playing.
And you know, it's funny because Terry School after that game said, I kind of like it here. This is pretty cool. I underestimated how much I would like to play for Team USA.
Scott Boras. It's Colin alluded.
And then I'm down on him.
And then the news broke today. He is not going to pitch again for Team USA. But he felt the need to voice his incorrect disposition on what it would be like.
Guys, I got it quickly. There is some godforsaken teams in this tournament. Czech Republic. Listen, I don't know how we decide who's in here. Christian, I think you could come out of the bullpen for Czech Republic. I'm dead serious.
They should do
right now, not throwing a baseball for 10 years since you played for your high school / college team. Christian, I'm telling you, Czech Republic's one of the worst baseball teams I've ever seen in my life.
They should honestly do it like the Little League World Series.
Brazil was hilarious.
They're awful.
Brazil was terrible. A funny watch.
Well, also,
they put in two 17-year-olds to pitch against Judge and Harper and all the guys.
The one got out of it.
Yeah.
The youngest kid in the whole thing, he got out of it.
Against Judge.
And then
that was an interesting first 3-4 innings. It was fun.
Then Manny Ramirez's son has 2 home runs. I didn't know Manny had a son who played for Brazil until I watched.
Yeah, they got dominated. They got destroyed like 16-0 the next game.
Yeah, Mexico. They lost 16-0 to Mexico.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mexico last night, Alejandro Kirk is hotter than a blowtorch. RBI double, 3-run homer. Dude, I'm worried about Mexico tonight.
The one thing I don't like is how these teams care so much about run differential. Because it happened in the South Korea-Australia game, which happened overnight because it was in Japan. But that was like 6-2, and and Australia has nothing to write home about. But there were blemishes in the field. They kept making errors left and right.
It's a bad team.
And they only cared about winning by less. Korea had to win by 4+ in order to advance. That was weird, and I actually don't like the walk-off in the middle of the game just off of mercy rule.
Why? Dude, we don't need to play. We don't need to play.
Like that.
You want to stick it to Brazil?
Colin,
I don't like that.
16-0. There's no need to play.
I don't like that.
I kind of like the mercy rule.
It happened in the Dominican Republic. I don't think we need that. I think it's fun to manufacture a walk-off.
Now, guys, the teams are, in my opinion, the 4 teams are United States, Japan, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. That's the 4. That's the 4 right now. Venezuela back in the day was a powerhouse. They've fallen off a bit. We'll have to see what they do against Nicaragua today at 7 o'clock. But tonight, man, guys, I'm telling you, get into that. Mexico and USA, we do not beat Mexico on the ball diamond. I'm looking forward to us kicking their butt tonight.
Yeah, and Cuba and Puerto Rico will be a good one, too. That's tonight on FS1 at 7 p.m. So you get 2 good games tonight. Pretty much back-to-back-ish with Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Mexico, United States. It's a fun tournament. There's no doubt. It's group stage. Group stage gets a little tiresome. You need to get to knockout stage eventually. But, yeah, that'll be a fun watch, no doubt.
Well, locationally, the big free agent news of the day. Of course, you got to go to the Dolphins. Cutting to it in the morning, and then for a lunchtime snack, the Miami Dolphins signed Malik Willis to a 3-year deal, $45 million guaranteed. Grade the day for the Miami Dolphins.
I would say this is a B. This is a B. They wanted to get out of this with a passing grade. I think that's what they got. B-.
I'm on the other side. I think it's an A because you got 2 out of the building. You needed to do that. 99 against the cap stinks. What is it, Kyle? 67 this year and about 30-some next year. You needed to do it to officially move on from the stench that was in the past. You had to move on. As a Brown fan, I wish they do it with Watson. The fact that Deshaun Watson is still on the Cleveland Browns and competing for a quarterback job is a joke.
Is that not
I
comparing
applaud the Dolphins
apples to oranges? Deshaun Watson is a genuine cancer to what they do day by day because of the off-field
stuff.
stuff.
But like, he was never going to be the starter under this new regime.
There's no doubt about that.
So and listen, Munkin and company taking over for the Browns at the head coach spot. The issue is the Browns still have the cancer Andrew Berry there. And maybe that's why they haven't done this. But I really just wish my team would do something similar with their quarterback. I applaud the Dolphins. I give them an A. You got rid of Tyreek Hill. You got rid of Tua. You got rid of Mike McDaniel. And you got some football guys running the show. I give him an A today for this.
Let's go to Kansas City, where two big-time moves were made at the running back position. Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, got a contract from the Chiefs, have him as a top 5 paid running back in the league. And the news broke literally right now that the Chiefs are giving Travis Kelce a 1-year, $12 million deal with a max value with incentives of $15 million. Which move will impact winning more, for better or for worse? Travis Kelce for 1 more year with the Chiefs, or the Chiefs getting Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker at running back?
1 year only. It's more important that they have Kelce at tight end than it is that they have Kenneth Walker at running back. Kenneth Walker would be a little bit more of a commodity to them long term, but that would have been quite a loss if Kelce were to walk away. They would have got nothing out of it. That would have been quite a loss. This is a make-right contract. This is you've made plenty of money in your career. You're marrying a billionaire in 2 months. So ultimately, I think Kelce's more important doing what they do, but I think both are going to be tremendously helpful.
I'm happy to see them do right by Travis Kelce. Obviously, I'm very into Kelce with him being from Cleveland and whatnot. I could care less that he's getting married in 2 months, but I think as far as implications, it's Kenneth Walker. I think they're going to give him, the guys I said earlier, I think they're going to give him the ball a lot the first month of the season with Mahomes being out. I think that's a huge reason why they went out and got him. They want to give a bell cow the ball 30 times a game. I think that 40, what is it, Kyle? 40 what? It's a lot of money for a running back. And I think they need to upgrade a lot of spots, I still think, on the roster. I think they need to do offensive line. I think they need to do receiver. I even think now with what they're missing on the defensive backside, they got a lot to work with. But, Kyle, I tremendously down on the Chiefs as far as Mahomes being out and them being a threat early on in the season. They're going to be giving the ball to Walker a lot, and they're going to be throwing to safety valve and my guy, Travis Kelce.
Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Well, we have all this free agency news coming out basically every minute. A hectic day, especially if you're involved in the front office. I can't imagine that it's anything short of just madness for these next week right here with the negotiations and getting things done left and right. Well, we'll talk to somebody who has experience in these rooms. He's currently an ESPN NFL insider for free agency, and he's the current ESPN guy and a former general manager for the New York Jets and the former executive vice president of football operations for the Miami Dolphins, Mr. Mike Tannenbaum joins us now. Mike T, welcome in. Been a while. How you doing?
Yeah, good to be back with you guys. How you doing?
Not too bad. Mike, let's start locally. Miami Dolphins going after Malik Willis, getting this done quickly. Tua Tagovailoa, $99 million against the cap. They were okay with swallowing that pill over the next 2 years. Macro level, those two moves, making this done quickly. What's your read on it? How'd they do here?
I think they did really well. Like, this is the classic playbook of, hey, let's absorb these cap charges, new head coach, new GM, didn't work out with Tua, and then move on, and then get somebody who be about a 2-year, $45 million deal. Look, Malik Willis is encouraging. He only has 3 starts, but I think he gives them some credibility. I think he'll be really good for their culture as well.
Now, Mike, do you like the moves that this new Packer brass has done in Miami? You get rid of Tyreek Hill, you get rid of Tua, and you bring in Malik Willis. It seems like they can usher in the new era of Dolphin football. Am I right on this?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I think you want to bring in guys that fit the mold of the new regime, and you've moved on from so many guys from Tyreek Hill, Chubb, Minka Fitzpatrick today, Alec Ingold. I mean, this is going to be a transformational rebuild. And I think they're making a lot of the hard decisions.
Mike, one more thing on the Dolphins here. It's very tricky, in my opinion, for somebody like Willis because he's an interesting case study. Doesn't have a lot of experience in his career, has seen success in the short spurts for a good organization. Coming into the free agency, I'm sure the Dolphins already had their eye on him. They already had communication, whatever it might be. But setting a number to that, to his type of production, I think is difficult. When you're in these situations, in these rooms, people are calling, you're trying to negotiate a number for somebody that thinks they're worth maybe a lot more than it was. I'm not saying this was the case for Malik Willis, but it was reported that he was asking for a whole lot of money. Or Daniel Jones, for example, with the Indianapolis Colts, maybe looking for something north of $45-50 million a year. How do you come up with a number if you're going after somebody like Malik Willis that makes sense not only for the team, but for the player?
Yeah, that's a really funny question, Colin, because when you're with a team, you sit there for weeks with your staff and you run all these models and you're like, all right, this is what it should be. And then, the agent comes in and just tears that up in 10 seconds and be like, well, here's the market. And it's basically, all right, we got to pay the bill. And if we want Malik Willis, I'm sure Arizona was interested amongst other teams. So there was going to be a market. It's an unusual narrative. It didn't work out in Tennessee, obviously resurrected himself in Green Bay. And, he just hit it because of the supply and demand in the position.
Mike, how important is it for the Dolphins to get younger in your eyes?
Yeah, I think it's, again, Mike, it goes to the bigger picture of like, hey, we got to get younger, we got to get cheaper, and we got to rebuild, and we got to eat $100 million so we can come out in a year or two and have, what we hope is a representative team. So when you look at the guys they moved on from, Hill, Chubb, amongst others, Minka Fitzpatrick, those were guys that were older. Certainly a couple of them had massive injury concerns, starting with Tua, Bradley Chubb, Hill coming off of the knee. So I think it all fit the right sort of bill of what they're trying to do.
NFL insider Mike Tannenbaum with us now on Russo and Rizzo. Mike, of the moves that are made today, I want to throw one out there that's a little peculiar to me in terms of shattering a market set. And you talk about how the agents know these markets. Well, Tyler Linderbaum, I don't know if his agent had the center market in mind. Interior lineman making that much money for the Las Vegas Raiders, over $25 million a year. Is that a situation where they know what's coming in Fernando Mendoza and they wanted to make it life as easy as possible? Walk me through going through a signing like that. I mean, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yes and no. So the highest paid center was $18 million, Creed Humphrey. This takes it to $27 million. And look, with Mendoza, they have the most sacks in the league last year. So this was a necessary bill they had to pay. There wasn't great value, but I totally understand why they did it. And if it helps Mendoza be more successful, then, it's worth it.
Mike, Max Crosby going on over to the Baltimore Ravens. Give me the grade for both sides. Sticking with the Raiders, obviously. The Raiders got a big-time haul, and the Ravens feel like they got a player that can maybe set themselves apart in a possible Super Bowl run.
Yep, so I like what the Raiders. I'll give them an A-. You never love giving away great players who are high character and productive, who are, under 30, like they did, but they got 2 1s. I like where they are on offense, guys. They got Jalen Naylor, they got Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, help the offensive line. They still need another tackle, but with Mendoza, that'll be a good offense. Defensively, they need everything. So now that you sit there, you have another first-round pick. The first one will go to Mendoza. They'll use Crosby's pick on a defense. So I think it makes a lot of sense. For Baltimore, when you think about their top 6 players, so Lamar, Crosby, Henry, Kyler Hamilton, Roquan Smith, like that's about as good as any other team's top 6 or 7 players. And what's funny to me, guys, is like Jesse Mentor went from this like cute, nice, sort of like young rookie head coach, like let's build long term, a little bit like what we're talking about with Hafley, to like he's like his honeymoon's over. Like the expectations in Baltimore, like that is the shortest honeymoon in the history of the NFL. Like he's a rookie head coach with enormous expectations.
Mike, when this week, even through the weekend, when teams are desperately trying to get extensions on the board, walk me through what it's like in the building for these days. Are you in the building nonstop? Is this a no-sleep week for front offices, people involved in front offices? Are you talking to agents? Do you already have ideas of what they're looking for? What does that communication look like? What does this week look like from inside?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll take you back to a time where we had the lockout and we just had to be ready to go. We didn't know when it was going to, pop. And then, we heard it was going to be closer. We kind of had this like whiteboard in my office that was on wheels, and my couch was a pull-out couch. And I think there was like 2 to 3 days I didn't leave. I had a shower in my office. So I think there was like a 3-day period I physically didn't leave that office.
Oh,
wow.
Gosh, 3 straight
Shower
days.
hang on, shower in the office. He's
a general manager, executive vice president. That's what they do.
I mean, geez.
If you want a shower, they'll build a shower.
Mike, I need a shower in the studio. That's what I need.
Well, let me talk to Paul Cena and Stephanie. We should be able to get that done with the way you guys are crushing it. We should be able to get, and I want it sponsored too. Like there should be some sort of like spa sponsor, walk-in shower. I mean, I think that's something the Good Karma community should be able to get done here.
Mike, I got a couple of sponsors in mind myself, but partner Mike Evans. It's going to be weird for me not seeing him in the Tampa uniform. But what is him going to the 49ers? What does that mean for Kyle Shanahan and that offense with Brock Purdy next year?
I think it right sizes them. I think it puts Pearsall where he should be in the slot with Kittle. You talk about your top 5 or 6 players if they're healthy. When you have Pearsall with Kittle, McCaffrey, and now Mike Evans, that's a really good offense. They'll need to add another receiver because I think Ayuk's going to graduate here. Jawan Jennings is a free agent, but to me, that really fits a bill. Like he can win outside. He's a contested catcher. He's a great player. And that's something that Brock Purdy hasn't had. Ayuk was a weird deal last year. It just never seemed like it was going to work out there.
Mike, I was curious this weekend about you thought about how the Eagles have handled the last couple of days. They signed Jordan Davis to a lucrative extension. It was all but being reported that they wanted to bring Jalen Phillips back, but for the right price. People thought I was under the impression that he was going to come back until he got a very lucrative contract deal with the Carolina Panthers. Now, another thing is they have the A.J. Brown conundrum on top of this. When you almost have an abundance of riches, sort of what the Eagles are in the middle of right now, they can't pay everybody. It's obvious they can't do that. But letting guys walk, you thought you had Phillips, now he's out the door for a big contract. How do you guys, as front office people, adjust in a situation like that, number one? Number two, how do you think the Eagles will adjust now that they've lost a couple of pieces here?
Yeah, we did a special last night on ESPN Radio, and what we had speculated was if they were signing Jordan Davis, I thought maybe they would sign Jalen Phillips and trade Jalen Carter. I can't imagine they're going to let both Jalen.
Do we lose Mike there?
We lost Mike's audio.
So we're working on Mike Tannenbaum come back. I'm curious because it was being reported through the insiders that Jacksonville was heavily interested in Jalen Carter. And because they desperately need a player such as his caliber. And I think if there's a situation in which we show the NFL that he's open for business, is that you sign Jordan Davis to a $100 million contract.
Carter's the best at the position.
You can't pay him both. I
sit there and I go, try to find a better interior defensive lineman. I don't think I can.
Him and Jordan Davis, two of the best. So it's a very peculiar situation. But I thought maybe they thought we could get a first-round pick. We could get a second-round pick for this.
Am I back?
Yeah, Mike, we got you back. So you were talking with
what happened? That was
on the market.
Yeah, no, that was a sponsor for your walk-in shower. Sorry about that.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, we were speculating last night, guys, that by signing Jordan Davis, I thought they were going to sign Jalen Phillips and then maybe trade Jalen Carter. But obviously that didn't play out that way. The amount of money, guys, they're going to have to put in Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter is going to be immense, which is, again, good problems to have. So we'll see how this plays out. But I thought they were going to be more aggressive to keep Jalen Phillips.
But when you have a plethora of riches like that, I mean, do you think about it via position, via player, via price tag?
Yeah.
What do you think the Eagles are thinking here?
Yeah, Colin, those are all the right thoughts. But, to me, it has to be a little bit by position. And Carter and Davis are more similar, where Jalen Phillips is more of an outside player. And that's where I thought he was going to be a little bit more of a priority today, because this is a team that Brandon Graham's retired, right? And then Josh Sweat's moved on. They've lost Milton Williams. So a little surprised that they let Jalen Phillips go, because I thought that was a great trade they made in season.
Mike Tannenbaum with us now on Russo and Rizzo. Mike T, throughout your career, has there ever been a moment where you thought we had this guy, basically everything but pen to paper, agreed on a contract, and somebody else swoops him in with a contract that you just got to sit back and say, whoa?
You got me?
Yep, I got you, Mike.
Okay, sorry. So it was Antoine Winfield. So Antoine Winfield's father was in our facility wearing a 26 jersey, walking around with the off-season calendar. And basically his agent said, we have a deal. I'm going to go back to the hotel, go over the paperwork, we'll sign it, and then have dinner. And we never saw him again. And that was one of the worst moments in my career. And Terry Bradway was the GM at the time. I was the assistant GM, and we're at the Garden City Hotel, like literally like draped over piano, like crying. And it was by far one of the like worst moments I've ever had.
Mike, where'd he go?
Minnesota.
Okay.
So Mike Tice was the head coach.
Was still on? Did
Yeah,
you show up and they blew you off at dinner?
No, we went there to get the agent, and he was gone. Good thing for him, because I'm not sure what would have happened if I had seen him. But Mike Tice had a buddy who had a private plane that flew into Long Island to take the agent and Antoine Winfield to the Vikings. And it was like, I remember it like it was yesterday, and I just wanted to throw up. I mean, because Winfield was such a good player. I was so excited to get him, and then we lost him.
Mike, we appreciate the time. We appreciate the insight. Looking forward to talking again soon. I know it's probably a hectic week for you, even though you're being removed from the general manager position. It's probably a little more relaxed, but still a lot of fun to talk about this with you. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
yeah,
Mike.
no, it's great.
I'll work on that shower, all right?
I'm going to come there so we can all shower. Absolutely. I'm jumping on SportsCenter here in a few minutes.
7-day schedule. Nobody leaves the office.
Thanks,
That's
Mike.
funny. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Mike.
Mike Tannenbaum, the ESPN NFL insider. Mike Rizzo, Colin, Russo, Christian. We can all shower together. That's the plan? All right. Take a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 27 national championships, including their 3rd championship in women's soccer. Visit KUCHawks.com for the latest on the championship athletic programs at Kaiser University.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with George Teixeira, partner and practice leader of Anshin's Financial Services Group.
When launching a private investment fund, proper structuring could mean the difference between high tax bills and smart tax savings. The new One Big Beautiful Bill Act permanently extends the 20% deduction on qualified business income, makes favorable changes to exclusions of gains of qualified small business stock, and brings back full expensing on capital investments. For fund managers, this means new opportunities to reduce taxable income and improve cash flow. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we specialize in building tax-efficient structures that help funds and their investors make the right decisions today for greater success tomorrow. If you are launching a fund in this new environment, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Who says buying a car takes all day? At Greenway Kia West Palm Beach, we respect your time and make it simple. Shop online, value your trade, get pre-approved before you arrive. Then swing by, sign, and drive. Fast and easy. From the all-new redesigned 2027 Kia Telluride to the versatile Kia Sportage to the sporty Kia K4. Your next Kia is waiting. Transparent pricing, zero pressure, just a smarter way to buy. Upgrade this month without slowing down. Only at Greenway Kia West Palm Beach.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet, the home of Inter Miami, the Florida Panthers, and the Miami Heat, with all of the biggest live events in sports. If it's happening in sports, it's happening right here on ESPN 1063, South Florida's home for sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Well, if you want to bet USA versus Mexico tonight in the World Baseball Classic, you want to take a future in the MLB with the opening day around the corner. If you want to bet on the Ravens, perhaps to win the Super Bowl on the future bet after getting Max Crosby, you can do it all in the Hard Rock Bet app.
Absolutely. And new signups, new bettors can double their winnings on their first 10 bets. Now, it's a maximum of $50, but your winnings are doubled on your first 10 bets. If you would have won $100 on your bet, make that $200. That's how you get the party started with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet. Colin mentioned the World Baseball Classic. It's in full swing. We got games down here in Miami. We got Team USA facing off against Mexico at 8 o'clock tonight. I can't wait to sprinkle a little action, maybe on a little anytime homer again by Babe Schwarber. I'm all fired up for the WBC. Keep in mind, too, we have that big tournament coming up in March, and we got NBA playoffs right around the corner. Future bets are always a good thing for Russo and Rizzo. Colin and I are still trying to distinguish who we want to take on the season win total overs on the MLB side. And free agency, man, it's a good time to get revved up for the NBA, or for the NFL, to see who are going to be the contenders. That is all with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you are a friend or concerned about your gambling, call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Gosh, I'm still upset Christian and we didn't hit on Ohio. Ohio had Miami of Ohio beat, man. And Colin, regulation, overtime. You know that's the third straight game for Miami winning by 2 points in the conference.
Yeah. They escaped Toledo too. Toledo had a look at the end as well.
I am that guy. That's a rival. people are like, oh, well, at least they'll get into the tournament. I said, the hell with that. I want them in the tournament.
Like, there's allegations you weren't not watching that game live.
Yeah, no way. You didn't I was texting you guys during. I know Christian doesn't respond if he's not watching it. And he does respond if he does watch it.
I got to be honest.
Brian was obsessed with Tarek Skubal. It was 6-1. Brian Rhodes, our content director. I'm like, Brian, turn on ESPN too. It's a classic. And he wouldn't do it.
Colin, I got to be honest. You guys, I think you guys know this about me now. On the weekend, man, I don't respond to a lot.
We were talking about the game.
I don't respond to a lot of things.
We were talking about
I got to be honest, man. I'm on D most of the weekend outside of Inter Miami games and Saturday tailgate.
What day was this?
It was on Friday night.
Friday night.
Okay.
Friday night.
It's Friday night's 8:30.
I had it on while playing Marathon.
8:30.
I had it, so it's on Christian. It was on the big screen.
What were you doing Friday night at 8:30?
I had World Baseball Classic.
We went to movies.
No, I went to the driving range. Driving
range at 8:30 at night?
Yeah, lights turn off at 9.
Okay. So to put it in perspective again, phone on D&D. I didn't have to be up in the morning because Christian was doing tailgate live at the Hardy where he got Barber and a bunch of Hall of Famers. I had Marathon on my main PC. I was playing on my PC. I had World Baseball Classic on the monitor to my left because I'm dual monitor set up. And then my two TVs, my main TV had Ohio and Miami of Ohio, and then I had some other.
There's too much going on.
What was on Friday?
That's entirely too much going on.
What other big game was on Friday? I might have had another baseball game on the TV.
USA.
Right. But I had that on the monitor to my left. But regardless, dude, I was in my heaven. You know, I didn't have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning for tailgate. I played Marathon basically all night with my cousin, and we had a fun time. You guys heard of the new game Marathon?
Hold on. Question, do you buy these allegations?
Mike did not watch a second of Miami, Ohio.
Can't have it on in the background and watch on the
Mike
big-time
had
plays?
the final score notification.
Not true.
That's your alma mater.
I had it on.
That's your team.
Yes, I had it on. It's them in Ohio State. I had them on.
Question?
By the way, Jeff Bowles, head coach, man, Colin, partner, we're the most successful basketball team out of the MAC.
Okay.
Like, in the history of it, we can't go 15-15, brother. Can't do it. Yeah, we've been to the Sweet 16s under John Gross and DJ Cooper, almost beating Harrison Barnes and Zeller. Like, we have standards at that basketball program. 15-15, mate. We might have to be looking for a new.
If you were truly watching
15-16, we might have to be looking for a new coach, bro.
If you were truly watching that game, then it's a no-brainer the answer to this question. Who had 37 points? Who led the team in scoring with 37 points against the Miami of Ohio?
Was it for the Bobcats?
Yeah.
Who's our point guard?
Yeah.
I don't got a name for you.
That's
I don't know. I remember his name either. I do remember.
To be honest,
Jackson Pavletsky.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm bad. Like, to be honest, Bobcat basketball gets turned on when we go to Cleveland or when we're playing Miami of Ohio. And when I say going to Cleveland, that's where the Mid-American Conference tournament is.
Wow, we had all expenses paid trip
Preston. The year we were good was Preston. We beat Virginia. And we went
you
to the
lost
second
to Marquette, right?
Yeah, and we went to the second round of the tournament with Preston.
Did you beat Marquette? I can't remember.
No, we beat Virginia, and then we lost in the next round to Marquette.
Was it Marquette? I have to double check.
Regardless,
that was the Marcus
Colin,
Howard team.
we have standards at Bobcat basketball, and 15-16 losing to your rival twice.
You got to support your team by watching.
I did watch. I had it on. It's a Friday night. Marathon just came out. It was gaming.
You're using Marathon on the first name. You got a preamble Marathon every single time you say that.
It's a new video game?
Dude, it's the video game right now. Everyone's playing it.
Everybody.
And whoever plays.
Christian, you playing this?
I'm not playing.
Well, you guys aren't. You guys.
So not everybody.
What I'm saying is, you guys don't. If you play video games, you're playing this right now.
How
you don't
far
play video
removed
games.
are we from Fortnite? Because that was at one point
I
the
still play.
video game.
I still play. The problem is there's too many bots. Even in ranked, like I'll jump into a ranked, and I build. By the way, if you're playing Fortnite, not building, got a lot of questions. I'll jump into a ranked game, and I'm gold, silver. You know, I play when I can. I'm still running into bots.
What I'm saying is, in like 2019, 2018, Fortnite was the game.
Yeah, it's not the game.
How many times removed are we to get to Marathon as being the game? Who had their shine in the last 7 to 8 years?
Well, recently, before Marathon, it was Arc Raiders for about the last 6 months. But Arc Raiders, dude, that's a dumb game. Everyone just goes into the map, you loot up, and that's it. You exfil. There's no killing involved in the game. Like, literally,
You got to kill somebody.
you go into Arc Raider, but like that's the fun of the game. You're trying to get loot and you're trying to eliminate other teams.
And before that, Arc Raiders.
Before Arc Raiders, Call of Duty, Warzone, any of the mix.
Minecraft.
Well, I mean, Minecraft is still a very popular game. Dude, go to
Roblox.
People are weird on Roblox. Dude,
because they're 7 years old.
No, like there's actual weird adults that play Roblox. And
because there's kids that are 7 years old?
My nieces and nephews, I tell my cousins they're not allowed to play Roblox anymore. Too many horror stories out of that game. Go to the Steam charts. Christian, search Steam charts and you'll see how many people are playing the game. CS, Counter-Strike, is the most played game ever and always is number one on the Steam charts.
So it was video games
Counter-Strike
over
2.
your alma mater, Ohio.
I agree. And
It
the
wasn't
biggest game
over.
of the year for them.
It wasn't over. It was on. I saw every big play.
Yeah, I watched SportsCenter that night too, and I did the same. I saw every big play.
They should have had it on at the driving range. That's bad on the driving range. That was a big game. You'll go 31-0 in the regular season.
I'm not taking video game slander when you Muppets. When GTA comes out, I know you guys are going to be, Riz, how could I get an F? Yeah, that is actually, you are right on that. It's starting to think that it's never going to come out. But when it does come out in the next 5 years, I know you guys are going to be like, Riz, dude, where could I get the cheapest Xbox or PlayStation? And then I'm going to do my, Palpatine.
That'll be your victory laugh?
Good. Good.
Wow. Jeez.
I own the PlayStation 5. I got it for college football 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'll be prepared.
Okay. Well,
what do you think that's going to cost? The new Grand Theft Auto. Everyone's going to pay whatever the price they listed for. So it's going to be absorbent, no?
I'd say $70.
Really? That's not bad then.
I'd say $100.
Well, $100 will be for the Bunder Do. The Bunder Do will be $100 where you get
a tattoo.
No, the GTA boys. It's one of the most. It's one of the most played games online. Like GTA Online, there's still tens of thousands of players who play it every day. And the Bunder Do is going to give you money to start your character online where you could play with your friends, a la what I will be doing. So I will be paying the $100 Bunder Do to get the kickstart. I know, but I get Bunder Do from South Park.
Christian,
you ever seen the Battle of the Council?
Yes, but I don't think everyone listening has. So
well,
I'm just
now they do. It's my jargon, Christian. Bunder Do. Anyway, go ahead.
Can I interest you in Georgia Southern Troy, 7 o'clock ESPN 2? Yeah.
It's Big Monday, no?
No. Big Monday's over because it's Sun Belt Championship.
Christian.
Well,
mini Monday.
Big Monday.
Nah, it's a smaller Monday. There's no doubt about
Christian,
that.
it's Big Monday.
No, but it's still mid-major conference championship week.
Mid-major Monday, baby.
USA versus Mexico gets the big screen today.
Yeah, correct.
Even though I'm going to watch all 9 innings.
Did you see the final play in Boston, BU versus Navy?
Saw it was big. I didn't even actually watch.
Yeah, Navy hits a go-ahead 72-70, and then BU hits a basically half-court shot to win the Patriot League, which is only a one big conference. Navy, 5 seniors who all never left. That was their famous team, and they blew it. The Navy, our troops. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Sunday Huddle. We got another hour coming back at you right now on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.